Excited to get our preparation underway this week. Really good team coming in here. I think Raheem, Zach, their whole crew, coaching staff's doing a really good job with this team, and talented team that we're gonna have to play well against, and need that great home environment to be rocking on Sunday, and expect it to be. I'm coming off of, I thought they were a huge reason late in the game coming to life there, giving us the kind of juice they did to really make it hard on our opponent the other day. It's huge by our fans. Just quickly before we get going, did want to highlight, saw on social media that, Randy Moss put out kind of a message in regards to something he's got going on. And I just want to, on behalf of the whole Minnesota Vikings organization, just send him our well wishes and support. We love Randy and know our fan base feels the same way. Really revered by all Vikings fans and really by all NFL fans, the Hall of Famer that he is. And I just want to let him know that we're here for him, here from Egan, and we always got his back. So just well wishes and support to him.
Kevin, how much experience or time did you have with Randy?
Yeah, I remember my first practice, I think I threw a pat and go ball to him. Kind of got to him a little end over end, and I think instead of catching it, I think he spiked it down on the ground like it was a my locker was right near his for my whole time there. Just always just was so wildly impressed by the way he prepared, just how much the game meant to him. He loved playing football. He was a great teammate, to everybody in that locker room, and his energy, infectious energy, really made us a better team and made players around him better. So he's, one of the greatest to ever do it, clearly, Hall of Famer. And, it's always, as a young player, to be around not only Tom but Randy early in my career and Coach Belichick. I couldn't have been exposed to any higher level of football at that point. So had a huge impact on me.
Kevin, what was your relationship like with Raheem Morris?
Yeah.
You were with him, and what are his strengths as a coach?
Yeah, I'm very close with Raheem. He came in, that year that we were together. We won the Super Bowl, and I remember just his consistency. Has an unbelievable way about him with the players. Energy, enthusiasm. He always seemed to have more energy than anybody else, and even on days where you were trying to find it, Raheem had some extra to give out. So always had a positive impact on everybody. I thought it was a really cool thing for me, in my coaching journey, to be around somebody like that, a former head coach that was coordinating and kind of just seeing the leadership that he had, but yet how he played so well off of Sean and the principles of our organization. I thought that was something that really stayed with me, and I was really excited for him that he got that opportunity, and with a great organization, and a lot of folks coaching for him that I know well, and that's where I know it's going to be a heck of a challenge. He's going to have his team ready to go.
As a coach, Kirk Cousins better than probably anybody, which means you know what his strengths are, but you also know what gets under his skin. Is there anything in your game plan that you would do that would take advantage of that knowledge?
I have tremendous respect for Kirk. One of the players, throughout my journey as a coach, that either coaching him in Washington in 2017 or being very fortunate to get 2 years with him here. I just know how impactful of a player he is from what he's doing right now as far as his preparation for the game, and how he's done a really good job with that group of skilled players and kind of getting a lot of guys involved and running the show. And what is a new offense, there's probably a lot of characteristics that we're able to carry over for him with Zach coming from a similar background that I came from when we came here. But what I thought, what Kirk did best, over the 2 years is just the dialogue and the connection that him and I had to try to build our version of the offense here, and then his ownership of that, being really good end of game situations, and totally taking us, bringing us back in many instances in 22, and then just how he was able to, even despite the injury last year, just still continue to have a positive impact on this building and his teammates. So it's going to be a challenge. He's going to be very accurate. He's going to throw with great timing and rhythm. He's going to get the ball out, and when he does, it's going to be going to the right guy. And we got to be, all 11 mentality every single snap, because he can easily put together the type of performance where he can have you scrambling on defense from a coverage standpoint, being a play ahead, all those things. So we got to do a really good job with the principles of our defense that we feel very strongly about, and know that they're going to have a plan for it. There's always going to be some, change-ups and game plan things, just like any other opponent, and we'll have those this week. And Flo and his staff are working through that stuff right now.
Kevin, how will you determine who kicks this week? Like, what does the process look like?
Yeah, so we open the window for Will and Depot. We'll see kind of how their work week looks like, but barring any setbacks, hoping to have both of them back, and we'll work through that, throughout the week. I did want to highlight Jake McQuaid, just what he, to lose your long snapper and kicker the same week in an NFL season is pretty unique. Not sure how many times that's happened, but really since, both he and Park arrived, we were pretty darn successful, and such a pro's pro. How he'd be in the indoor late at night on a Wednesday, just getting snaps in, working his sets, setting a great example of a guy that truly loves football and came in, and when we needed him the most, he was there for us. So just want to highlight Jake, and the same thing will be said for Park, but we're going to let Will kind of work through the week, make sure he gets some kicks and things like that. But can't say enough about both those guys. Parker's been as big as anybody here over the last few weeks, helping us to ensure some of these wins.
Kevin, where's Stephon Gilmore at? Do you expect him to practice?
Yeah, I don't think he'll work today, but as we work through the week, there might be a chance that, the good news is I think that we avoided a serious longer-term injury, but at the same time, it's, we're into December now, and he's given us a lot of great snaps, and I feel really good about what Fabian was able to come in and do as well. So we're going to make sure that we're smart with him, but by no means hold him back if he's ready to go. So it's still early enough in the week where I can't really project that right now, but today he will keep on rehabbing and recovering, and we'll see if we can, assess a way of getting him out there for some work by the end of the week.
Does being 10-2 affect that at all? Just understanding the cushion you might have built and what you're facing?
I don't think you can look at it like that. My whole goal this whole year has been to make sure that we're constantly chasing improvement, and we're in a part of our schedule where, between the opponent we played last weekend and really, many of our opponents moving forward here through the end of the year, not only are they NFC teams, but they're teams that are right in the mix to either win their divisions or win our division. So it's, I look at every single week here as we move forward, like we've got to start building the mindset of, which we've done throughout the year, but that 1-0 mentality as you get later in the year, you better have some urgency on it and make sure you maximize every second of your preparation, because everybody we're playing down the stretch is going to have a mindset of, not quite must win, but we're all kind of in the business now of late in the season, winning is a very, very important thing.
You mentioned Dwight McLeather, and how have you seen him kind of progress this year to now maybe being a guy who could be a snap away?
Yeah, I think it started back in the spring, and then in training camp, had a great training camp. Just, there's always that young DB that seems like they're making a play a day kind of thing, and Dwight was definitely that throughout training camp. He's got really good, natural skills to play the position and cover. Fits kind of in alignment with how we're playing a little bit more tighter coverage now and getting up on people, and that true coverage ability is something that is hard to find sometimes, especially with younger players. So the fact that he was able to come in and demonstrate that right away, it's really just been a matter of being pretty healthy at that position. But I think his opportunities are coming. It could be this week, and if he gets his op, we know he's going to be ready.
Kevin, I feel like we ask you about Jonathan Greenard every week.
Yeah.
Deservingly so, but how much has he meant to not just on the field but off?
Yeah, he's it's hard to put into words like the off the field stuff, just because he's so consistently himself and authentic, and what that is such a huge driving reason behind why he was such a marquee guy for us to bring in here, because it's the energy, it's the positivity, but then there's this workman-like approach to everything he does. You guys see it. He might be off to the side working his hand usage, or maybe it's he's complimenting one of his rush moves with, working on a new tool there. And then I think the underrated part is just the all-down aspect of the physicality, setting edges, playing blocks, and making some plays at or behind the line of scrimmage that set up his chances to then rush the passer. And he's played a ton. We're trying to be aware of, just how much he's played and see if we can give him some spurts here and there where we can kind of keep his play count where we want it. But at the same time, he's one of our best players. And, as I like to call him, he's the closer. How many times this year has he affected the quarterback, drawn a penalty, sacked the quarterback, strip sack, last week, in these critical moments where, you need your best players to go make those plays. And he's done it time and time again for sure.
Kevin, what did you miss those two games at Cashman, matchup-wise? What did you miss, and what have you gained since he's been back?
Yeah, I think Cash's athleticism and just ability to run and play in space is so real. He still has the physicality, but even, I look back on a couple plays the other day where it's either a check down throw in space that if you don't have somebody that can run, hit, and finish that play, these 4-yard completions, when you've done a great job with all the other eligibles, those are, we've experienced it this year where we check the ball down to Aaron, or, Chicago 3rd and long, you check it down to him and he runs for 14 yards and a first down. Like those underneath plays, as well as his feel and instincts in zone. Sometimes those guys, it's one thing on a sheet of paper to be told, hey, here's your landmark. You're dropping, 10 to 12 yards outside this hash mark. But then there's a play going on, and the eligibles and the play expresses itself. And he's got a really good feel for reading eyes of the quarterback, the pocket movement of the quarterback, and just kind of knowing where he needs to be to provide body presence in the zones, but then make a play on the football, make a play and get there and make a tackle. So it's such a space thing with Blake, and I think he's shown time and time again that his comfort of playing in space matched with his physicality when he arrives at the football was a huge reason why we went and got him, and he's shown up for sure.
Even with Greenard, he directly sort of traced his those last couple of plays of chasing down Murray to like his off-season workouts.
Yeah.
When he showed up here, did that sort of workout warrior kind of mentality show up right away?
Yeah, and you could just tell, Dave, by like his play style on tape last year, and I think it fit with how D'Amico coaches. And this guy plays hard every single snap, to the point where, sometimes he plays himself to a point of exhaustion, and that's why we use the timeout late in the game to try to get him back in there. It's very rare for me to call a timeout and then go stand by somebody when, they're getting water and trying to catch their breath, and, you ready to go, you ready to go, you ready to go type thing. But that's what it is. And I think, he, no doubt he was going back on the field and going to have a really impactful snap. I thought he had a great rush, even on Murph's interception, beats the tackle and kind of bowled over the back trying to save the day and kind of forced Kyler off the spot. And as the game went on, I thought we did a better job with our rush plan of, not letting him get up and out and really attack us as much as he started to have to go backwards. And then we were able to capitalize on some of those.
Last couple.
Kevin, we talk a lot about Darnold's arm talent almost every week. What does that allow you to do from a game planning standpoint, or does it change things when you know that he can make throws that maybe not every quarterback can make?
Yeah, I think, you got to watch yourself sometimes because you're almost, getting to a place where, of course, he'll be able to make that throw. Of course, he'll be able to make that throw. And there's other factors involved, protection. The pocket's got to allow time for some of this stuff to express itself. So it's a good mix. But at the same time, like I thought, he had some really nice completions, just simple underneath the coverage early. And then he hits Justin, on an in cut and kind of the intermediate part of the zone. Then we kind of, figured out as the game went on where kind of the holes in the coverage may be. And sometimes it was a moving route through that area. Sometimes it was our receivers doing a great job coming back to the football through kind of, through the zones, and then Sam anticipating those windows and then having the ability to drive the football, layer the ball up and over to Jordan on that bench cut. So there was just countless examples, and then you get to a simple play to try to win it, and it's 1 foot in front of the numbers to Aaron. Aaron makes a great catch and walks in the end zone. And sometimes you can take for granted, even me calling the plays, just the pitch and catch value of what Sam's brought this year, and then the plays and the rapport he has with the guys catching the football has been really fun to watch, just slowly build, and we make a few more plays, and now we're kind of at the point where, there's an expectation from our guys that we're going to go out and make enough plays in the passing game to win the game, and we feel good about, the volume of runs we've gotten off this year, but it's still going to be about here December football, a good mixture of both, and marrying up the run and the pass to try to generate as many of those easy ops, quote unquote easy, that Sam certainly makes look that way.
Kevin, what'd you think of Bijan Robinson coming out of college?
Yeah, I thought he was fantastic. I mean, his tape was really, really good. I remember really watching a couple times him and Gibbs, and just really thinking, either one of these guys are going to be incredibly impactful. He's a tough runner. He's a really, really good wide zone runner, and that's what they specialize in, running those, truly trying to attack the C gaps. And he's got a great feel for when to put his foot in the ground, when to bounce it. He can run through arm tackles kind of at that moment of truth that you get sometimes on those zone plays where one guy might be able to get there, but if he doesn't make the play, it's going to be an explosive run, and that's what Bijan does a ton of. I think he's got really good hands. He's got good feel as a route runner, and so you can just tell, Zach's just trying to find as many ways to get him the ball in space as they possibly can, and he's everything I expected him to be. He's been that and more, and I think he's consistently getting better too, even in his feel of their run scheme and the speed of the game and making his decisions off his reads. So we got to set edges, we got to defeat some blocks, and we got to play the cutback. And it's simple principles, easier said than done sometimes.
So what have you thought of Darnell Mooney on tape and what they've done with him there?
Yeah, I've been a fan of his since he came out. He was. I remember I was in LA at the time, and Eric Yarber, our receiver coach, shared a cut up with me of his, and by the time I got through it, I was like, this guy can play inside, he can play outside, he's got long speed, he's got separation skills, he's a really good catcher of the football, and really good after the catch. So I was like, there's not many more boxes to check from a prospect standpoint, and just in that offense with Drake being, a big explosive receiver that can, take the ball right off the top of the backboard as a former basketball player. And then you've got, the tight end, obviously, and you've got Bijan, and you're in a world where you got to have a really, really detailed plan to defend them all. But I think he's shown to be a really good fit and a great pickup by them, because he's fitting in so many different layers of that offense and making a lot of plays.
You mentioned December football. What changes in December?
I just think you have to deal with the aspect of you've played 12 games, there's been a lot of, these games are physical. The schedule sometimes is more friendly at different times than others, and a lot of time on task has stacked up. So really, December football is about play style. It's about elite communication, so that at this point in the year, technique, fundamentals, you can't let those things slip either. But at this point in the year, if all 11 guys know what to do and the communication's been good, and we're sound with our scheme, and then the play style gets thrown in, good things are going to happen. But you can't let any one of those areas slip, because we experienced it last Sunday, whether it's a protection call, not everybody gets it, it's going to be a catastrophic negative drive-ending play, or who's setting the edge on the defense, and, hey, we went from this defense to that defense, and jobs changed, and the ball snapped. Every single time we don't have all 11 on the same page, this late in the year, that's on us, that's on me. So we're trying as coaches to make sure we're stressing those things and doing the little things out on the practice field and walkthroughs and meetings to ensure that if we get those things, we feel really confident about the talent level of our guys, the connection of our team and our locker room. Good things are going to happen, and it might not be for 60 minutes just steamrolling people, but we have a belief we're going to find a way to win the game. And that's what I want this team to truly feel down the stretch here is we're finding a way to find a way. And it's as simple as that. Not every Sunday is going to look the same. It's going to express itself differently, but we're going to do whatever we can, coaches and players, to find a way.